Hello, I'm Dr. Brad Holmberg, founder of Invisaligndoctors.com. I'm going to show you a case that seems really straightforward. However, the forward movement of tooth 25 is too excessive and will probably result in gingival recession if you just accept this treatment plan. So let's look at this case. Let's look at the lower. So there's a lot of crowding. Look at tooth number 25. Notice the forward movement. The tooth is being moved forward to create space to be able to rotate it and the other teeth adjacent to it. So the crest of the movement forward is around at stage 15. If you turn on a superimposition tool, you can see that it's coming forward quite a bit. Okay, so let's see what happens after stage 15. Let me turn off the superimposition tool. It's going back lingual. So we call that round trip movement. It comes out to obtain space. The rotations occur, and then it comes lingual. Now there's no IPR programmed here, so let's see how far out that tooth is. So it's not out as far as it was at stage 15, but it's still forward, and we can open up the tooth movement table, and let's go to lower. And you and then let's go with the crown of the tooth. So number 25 is now it's only out about zero point 0.7 millimeters or zero point 0.7 millimeters buccal translation. So it isn't too bad. But I'm going to show you the photo of that tooth, and then you'll see how much recession there is. So here's tooth 25, and the gingival tissue is kind of inflamed. There's almost like a mucogingival defect down here. You can see the root surface here. So I'm saying that tooth cannot move forward at all. In fact, it would be good if you could find a way to move it lingual. Okay, so I've turned on the 3D controls, and one thing I did before I work in the anterior with anterior teeth, I always set the arches first. If we go back to the initial treatment plan, and I'm not gonna, this isn't a video on how to set the arches, but there's just way too much expansion. You can see even across the second molars. So I use the 3D controls and I reset the arches. And I'm just saying that I always do this before I work in the anterior. So you can see here I just basically moved out the premolar teeth, left the molars where they're at, the original position. So now I'm ready to look at the lower anterior. So here it is. After setting the arches, actually, tooth number 25 actually went out a little further. So what we're going to do is we're going to need IPR to be able to bring this back. Okay. Now the alignment is there, so I like the alignment. That looks great. I'm just going to move these teeth lingual, and to do that, I'm going to add IPR between the I'm just going to add 0.2 and I'm going to unlock it by left clicking that. And I'm going to do it between the cuspid teeth and the first premolar, lower first premolar teeth. Now the algorithm's going to add, we're set up for auto IPR right here. So the algorithms are going to add more. And I'm simply going to take, um, there's the translation one, and I'm going to click this value down so that it doesn't move forward at all. In fact, it's a little bit lingual. I'm going to look at the root movement too, and the root movement is lingual, so both the crown and the root is moving lingual. Then I'm going to lock the position by right-clicking. And now you're going to have to move the other teeth. Notice that there's 3.2 millimeters of forward movement of tooth number 24, but that tooth is really far back. And there's an abundance of bone and gingival tissue ahead of that tooth, but I'm still got to move it back now because I can't. I've got to line the teeth. So notice when I do that the algorithms are adding IPR for me automatically. Once you move it back, you might have to rotate it a little bit. There's rotation widget, just to go like that. So we're gonna, and you can see that there's 4 millimeters of buccal movement of the lateral, and that is really far back, number 23, tooth number 23. And I'm okay with that. It's tipped. All that's happening is that tooth has lingual inclination, and you're just taking, and you're using crown tip movement. You're not even repositioning the root apex that much on that tooth. So I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with moving tooth 25 forward. So we got pretty good alignment, and I don't like 0.5 in the anterior. So now I'm going to just see what I can do. I'm going to unlock by right-clicking. Oh, let's turn on the superimposition tool. Now you can see we're really good right here. So I'm going to dial back a little bit of, now that it's added, I'm just going to click on this minus sign, and I'm just going to dial back a little bit there. I don't mind 0.2. I might even go 0.3. But I do like the IPR to get all of the lingual, the lower anterior teeth to retract. I do like it distal to the cuspid, and I like 0.5 there. It's very easy to add 0.5. We already have it here. Maybe let's go 0.2 here. Let's see how things look now. So you can see by changing the IPR using the 3D controls, it didn't change the alignment. Let's look at right here. So now it's gone ahead a little bit again. So let's go back, but it isn't much. Let's dial it back a little more. Of course, the algorithms will adjust that IPR, but it's coming in closer to where I want it. So you can see it didn't even change the IPR, and now there's lingual movement. It's pretty safe to say that that tooth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to run live update and check the staging of it. And if it is being moved forward during the stage, then I'm going to have to write a written request, and I'm going to say do not move tooth 25 any farther forward than its final position. So, so when you do this, now you can see that there's kind of some excess anterior bite relief. I actually like to see this for the initial treatment plan. I like to see a little excess so that you don't end up with premature contacts at the end. So in some cases, what you have to do is you're going to have to, if you're adding lower IPR for the reason of preventing forward movement or limiting forward movement due to this recession problem that I've been talking about, then sometimes you also have to add it on the upper. In this particular case, I don't see the need. Okay, so I'm going to run live update, and I'll be right back. Okay, so live update is done, and by the way, there's only 16 regular stage aligners. There's a lot less in this treatment plan since I've run live update than there was in the initial one. That's because I simplified the posterior tooth movements. But anyway, what I did is I turned on the grid tool, which is right here. I held the shift key and the left mouse button. I dragged the model so that at stage 0 you can see there's a line on the facial of tooth 25. Let's check that tooth. So you can see that it is going forward a little bit. A little over 0.5 millimeter. Then it stops, and then it comes back. So there is some round trip movement of that tooth. So what I'm going to do is I'll just submit a written instruction that says, please do not move, or to remove the round trip movement of tooth 25. Excuse me, it's 25. Because if you just say remove the round trip movement, then it's not going to move it facial and then move it back. I'm going to say just move it to its final position, no forward movement. And that written instruction should take care of it. So this is how you can take a case where you're concerned about alignment, you're concerned about forward movement of anterior teeth, and you want to limit that forward movement so that you don't develop gingival recession issues. I hope this video is helpful for you.